Good morning, Annex.
Morning, Honor.
Just waiting for lawyers.
I can't hear it.
Good morning, downtown.
Judge Ms. Rodriguez is on Chacon, Esquivel, and Kenneth today.
Okay. Then let's get started with who is the one downtown?
José Luis Esquivel.
Okay. Let's get started with him then. Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Jose Esquivel, cause numbers 2024-0C02106 and 2024-0C02109. We're here for a bond reduction, which says the state. Mr. Lucy,
My apologies, Your Honor. Stephen Lucy, on behalf of the state of Texas, are ready to proceed.
and the defense.
Karina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Jose Luis Esquivel. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Karina. What do you have?
Your Honor, Mr. Esquivel is currently held on a surety bond. We would ask the court whether it would be possible for him to obtain a PR bond on both of his cases. He currently has no money. He does do side jobs here and there, but he just got approved his SSI, and he's able to provide himself some standard of living using the food stamps that he receives. If he were to get released, he would reside either with his sister off of West Way or his roommate off of San Antonio, which would be away from the from where the alleged offense occurred in this case. He is currently diagnosed with schizoaffective depression and anxiety. He is in a very stable condition right now. The defense counsel has no concerns, but given his background, his sister that he can depend on, and he has a good phone number, so I would ask the court to consider issuing a PR on both of his cases. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Lucy, do you have anything?
The state would object based on a threat to the community. Given the facts of the case, he threatened an employee to come back with a gun and shoot him. He also has very extensive criminal history, but in all events, the state would defer to the court.
All right. Does he have a violent history?
He has 2 assaults in 2008. He has a robbery in 2019 and 2 robberies in 2019, and those are the violent offenses.
All right. What was this store?
It was Savers on North Zaragoza on the east side of town.
And the address?
It is 1700 North Zaragoza, Studio 162, El Paso, Texas 79936.
Okay. Mr. Esquivel,
Yes, Your Honor.
is there a place where you receive mental health treatment?
Yes, ma'am, EHN?
EHN.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You seem to be pretty stable today, so I'm going to grant you a PR bond on both of these cases with the following conditions. You are, number one, to go nowhere near Sabers or the employee that you threatened.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
You're to continue your treatment with the EHN. You are to reside with your sister or with your friend, one of the two.
Okay,
You'll have a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew where you can't be out. You're not to use any illegal substances, and you're not to get rearrested again. And you're to report to PR Bonds or CJC. Any violation of those conditions will cause a warrant for your arrest to be issued. Take my word for it, I don't let people out on PR bond repeatedly. So this is your one chance. You mess it up, you're going to be sitting in jail. Understood?
ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Downtown, may I have Raul Chacon, please?
Thank you, Ms. Carino.
Raul Chacon, please.
He's in another floor, Your Honor. I'll have to switch.
Okay. We'll wait for him.
Right now, the only one I have is Kenneth Justin.
Who's on that? Is that you, Karina, or not?
Yes, Your Honor, that's a pretrial hearing.
Okay, let's do Kevin Justin. We'll be right with you, Mr. Lozano.
Not a problem, Judge.
Mr. Mesa. All right, court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Justin Kenneth, 2024-0C02187 and 2024-0C02186. We're here for pretrial, which says the state
Stephen Lucy, on behalf of the state of Texas, we're ready to proceed.
and the defense.
Reina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Justin Jamie Kenneth.
Okay. He apparently has a hold for the marshals and possibly a warrant out of Washington. So what is your recommendation, Mr. Lucy?
My recommendation would be 30 days jail on the burglary of vehicles and dismiss the resisting.
Okay. He currently has, I think, 5 days in jail, something like that. Ms. Rodriguez, what
That
would
is
you
correct.
like to do?
That is correct, Your Honor. I went ahead and discussed the state's offer with Mr. Kenneth and explained the outstanding warrants that he faces at this time. He would like to get resolved, the case that he has here in Texas. And so he would like to change his plea and get this taken care of as quickly as possible.
Okay. Stephen, if you'll forward the plea papers, if you can get him back to us soon, Ms. Rodriguez, we'll get this scheduled for a plea.
Yes, Your Honor. I went ahead and reached out to the state, and we're just waiting on the state to convey the plea paperwork. I'll get it over to the court as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, downtown. If I can have Mr. Chacon now, please. Annex, if I can have Paul Gonzalez.
No, we don't have Gonzalez, Your Honor.
Oh, is that downtown as well? Okay.
Yes, Judge Gonzalez is downtown.
Okay.
Timothy Jones is at the annex.
He is downtown, Your Honor. He's on another floor. I'm sorry, I'm by myself.
Okay, either one of those two is fine.
Okay.
Okay, I will get it.
Annex, if I can have Timothy Jones, please.
Okay. Let me know.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Jones. Court calls the case of the state of Texas versus Timothy Jones, 2024-0C01728. We're here for a plea. What says the state
Stephen Lucy on behalf of the state of Texas are ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Eric Mays on behalf of the defense, Judge, and we're ready to proceed as well.
You are Timothy Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand, sir. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Charged with the offense of evading arrest alleged to have occurred February 27th, 2024 in El Paso County, Texas. To those charges, sir, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
I was under the impression that I was gonna be able to have a consultation with my attorney on that one.
This
All right.
was set for a plea. If you don't want to enter your plea of guilty today, that's fine. We will reschedule you for some other time.
I mean, as far as the evading, I plead guilty and they said it was time served already.
That is probably correct. Are you sure you want to plead guilty on this?
With the plea that they gave me the first time when they were offering me to drop the other charges, I talked to my attorney and he said, yeah, that it was time served.
It'll be time served on the evading. I
Yeah.
don't know what other charges you may have.
Your Honor, if I may, that is the state's offer, and that was the agreement, was plead guilty, credit for time served to the evading, and the other two were either dismissed or declined.
Okay. Does he have other misdemeanors?
Not other than the ones that are getting dismissed or declined, Judge. There was an unlawful carrying of a weapon that's getting disposed of, but he's only pleading credit for time served to the resisting, and that resolves all his cases.
Okay. Is that clear enough, Mr. Jones?
ma'am.
So, to the evading alleged to have occurred February 27th, 2024, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Court will follow the state's recommendation, find you guilty, sentence you to 44 days plus court costs with credit for time served on everything. And I imagine the state will forward the dismissal on your other case. Correct, Mr. Lucy?
Yes, Your Honor, those cases have already been declined and a motion to dismiss the warrants were filed.
Okay, then that's been taken care of.
Yes,
Good
Your
luck
Honor.
to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Um,
I mean, I'm just gonna black my screen until I'm back. Okay.
Thank you. Annex, may I have Alberto Sainz? Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sainz. Let me get your lawyer. Here he is. Good morning, Mr. Munoz. Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Alberto Sainz, 2023-0C00757, 2023-0C00601, 2023-0C00630, 2023-0C00758. We're here for a pretrial. What says the state
Stephen Lucy on behalf of the state of Texas are ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Max Daniel Munoz for Mr. Sainz, ready to proceed as well, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have a recommendation, Mr. Lucy?
Yes, Your Honor, there's a felony involved and the state is offering 3 years TDC on it. And as far as the misdemeanors, we're willing to dismiss all of them if he pleads to the felony.
All right. What is happening on the felony, Mr. Munoz?
The felony is barely started, Judge. The last hearing was on March 26th. We're going to have something on the status conference on June the 4th. Then we have discovery on June 25th. So we're not set for a plea, possible plea. If there's going to be a plea until August 29th, Judge. So I'm still working on the felony as it is.
Okay. I show that it's set for jury trial in September.
September the 13th, yes.
Do you think this is going to get worked out?
I believe it's going to be worked out, Judge.
Okay.
I mean, the evidence is not favorable, let's put it that way.
Okay.
But
do you think it'll be worked out before August?
I possibly, yes, Judge. Because the jury trial's on 9/13.
Right.
For that, I believe we should have, unless something happens and he's in there, it's a fairly new case, so we might be put off one time, but the second time he would probably be in the top 3 to go to trial. But I don't believe that's going to happen.
All right. Well, they want us to set our cases for something.
Okay.
So I'm going to set these matters. But that means you need to move on the felony if you want the deal where they're going to dismiss these.
Yes, Your Honor. And if all things were to fall through, I mean, he has enough to time serve on all his cases, Judge, by that time.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and schedule these about 2 months out, I guess.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give some time to work on these. Do you want them scheduled for a plea or a jury trial?
Better for a plea, Judge. I don't want to waste my time or your time scheduling for a jury trial. That's not going to happen.
All right, then let's schedule those for a plea about 2 months out, Rihanna.
And the rec is not 30, okay? On the felony, the rec is 3. I just noticed that, okay?
All right.
So we might just take care of everything altogether.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. If you
Thank
have
you.
nothing further, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Downtown, who is this gentleman?
Hi, good morning. My name is Paul Gonzalez.
Okay. Gonzalez. All right, Mr. Mesa. Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Paul Gonzalez, 2023-0C06848, 2023-0C04855. He's out on bond on that one, so it's just the terroristic threat. What says the state
Stephen Lucy, on behalf of the state of Texas, we're ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Eric Meza on behalf of the defense, Judge, we're also ready to proceed.
All right, what do you have, Mr. Mesa?
Thank you, Your Honor. For Mr. Gonzalez, as you mentioned, Judge, we are just here on the bond issue on the 6848 terroristic threat. I do have that down as a $6,000 cash surety bond. And speaking to my client, Judge, he's 30 years old. There is a pending felony right now out of
327.
Correct, Judge. And so we're trying to, I guess, resolve that case as well, Judge, trying to resolve it globally. But in the meantime, we did want to address the bond issue. My client was unemployed, but does not have sufficient resources to make the bond in this case. He does have 3 children, ranging ages 2 to 11 years old. He does have a high school education, but due to the lack of resources, Judge, we were going to ask for some sort of reduction, if not full PR on these cases. He does have a local address, so he does have substantial ties to the community. I don't think he's ever had an issue reporting. And we are asking that at least the court consider full PR on this case so that he could be out, take care of his kids, and also help us in his defense in both these cases, this and the felony.
All right, what do you have, Mr. Lucy?
The state does not object to a full PR bond on this case.
Well, I have some concerns since all his 4 cases involve the same CW. And there was also a notation on his rap sheet that he may be wanted out of New Mexico. So at this time, the court will grant a $3,000 bond, surety bond, and a $500 PR bond with the following conditions. He have absolutely no contact whatsoever with a complaining witness, Etel Esparza, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, commit no new offenses, use no illegal substances, obtain employment, report to CJC as required. Any violation of those conditions, Mr. Gonzalez, will cause a warrant for your arrest to be issued. Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further from the defense, Judge.
All right, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, downtown, if I can have Mr. Chacon.
Alrighty, Your Honor, I'm heading to that floor.
All right, thank you. And annex, if I can have Jonathan Reese Esparza. Are you on that, Ms. Rodriguez?
I'm not, Your Honor, but I can look into our system to see if there's any coverage notes, if that's okay with the
All
court.
right, please, yes.
That
I
case
have
is
Mr. Coronado.
That case is on Mr. Livingston's, Judge.
Okay,
Let me message him.
see if you can find him to take care of this. Mr. Coronado is waiting in the waiting room.
Your Honor, I don't see any notes for Mr. Esparza's case.
Okay, can you try to get a hold of Mr. Livingston?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Glenn, there appears to be somebody at the front door trying to get in.
Okay, Judge, I'll go around get him.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Raul Chacon, 2023-0C06371 and 2023-0C05003. We're here for bond hearings. What says the state
Stephen Lucy on behalf of the state of Texas, ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Rina Rodriguez on behalf of Mr. Raul Mesa Chacon.
What do you have, Ms. Rodriguez?
Your Honor, Mr. Chacon is currently held on two cost numbers, both $2,500 surety amounts. We would ask the court to either reduce the amount or consider PR bond. If released, he'd be able to reside with his son, and he currently has a stable employment, working at C&M Pools with his son. He also started another employment about a month ago. He is planning on taking responsibility for the allegations that the state has filed in this motion to revoke probation. But given that he is at risk of losing his job pending a plea hearing, he would ask the court to consider conditions of release and lower the surety amount. But just to be very transparent with the court, he is planning on pleading true to the allegations. Just given that his employment is at risk, that is what we're asking the court for, a reduced surety amount or a PR bond at this time.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Lucy, what do you have?
Your Honor, I spoke with the defense counsel about a possible plea of true, and the state is offering a 60 days jail on a plea of true for both cases to run concurrently.
Okay.
And as far as the bond reduction, we would recommend just a reduction and not a PR, just given the facts of the case.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, so
Yes.
I'm actually supervising Mr. Chacon, and
Correct.
since he was probated back in September, he has not reported if he was to be released, if we can just have an address for him where we can actually conduct a home visit. All the information that I have for him is not valid. The residences where I have gone to, he does not live there. So it has been very hard to get in touch with Mr. Chacon since he was placed in supervision back in September.
Correct. And he apparently never did anything on his
No.
supervision, right?
Correct.
All right. You are Raul Chacon?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chacon, why is it that you never reached out to probation?
Honestly, I don't know. I just became homeless, disoriented, just didn't have a car, didn't have nothing, so I just no nothing, so I've got no excuse to. It's just that, man.
And what assurance do you have, or can you give me, that you're going to be residing with your son?
No, I got a little place. Now I don't live with my son anymore. I got a little apartment that is just
The address.
It'll be 109 Seville 79905, El Paso, Texas.
All right. And where are you employed?
I have two jobs. I work with my son's company, which is CMM Pools, and the other one is
CMM?
C as in cat, M as in Mary Pools, and then my second job is on
You froze up there, so I didn't hear your second job.
it'll be JR Produce.
JR Produce. What's the address of that?
I think it's 1031 Alameda 7905.
Okay. I'm going to give you this one opportunity to be on PR bond. I'm going to set a $1,000 PR bond on both of these cases with the following conditions: that you continue to reside at 109 Seville, that you start reporting to probation, that you maintain employment, a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. No new offenses, no illegal substance, including alcohol. And you show up and report to probation. I'm going to have you report to Ms. Rivera instead of CJC.
Yes, ma'am.
Any violation of those conditions, a warrant for your arrest will be issued. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Rodriguez?
Defense, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, if you have nothing further, you may be excused.
Your
Anyone-
Honor,
Yes,
I apologize. Is there a way we can get a phone number for Mr. Chacon?
sure. Do you have a phone number, Mr. Chacon?
I changed it. It'll be 915-841-7728.
841, right?
Yes, ma'am, 7728.
28. Okay, Your Honor, would the court allow for an extension so that he can complete with the court's
Not-
conditions?
Not at this time. We're going to be having pre-rebels and then we'll determine what's going to happen.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Downtown, may I have Denise Morales, please?
May I be excused, Your Honor?
I'll be switching to
Yes. Thank you. Any word on Mr. Livingston?
No, Judge, he still hasn't gotten on.
Your Honor, I haven't been able to communicate with him either. Did you want me to stay on and cover?
It's up to you if you're going to cover it, but I expect you to know something about it.
I'd probably move to continue.
Your Honor, his supervisor is sick, but I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of somebody else, okay?
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Vasquez. They're getting your client.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Yeah, see if you can get somebody from the public defender's office to cover this quickly.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Reese Esparza. Good morning, Mr. Coronado.
Good morning, Judge.
We're trying to find Mr. Livingston to take care of all these cases together.
Yes, Judge.
We'll be with you shortly.
Yeah, there's a new rec, and I just need to talk to Mike. I just put it on this morning.
Okay.
I don't know if I can, I don't know if my
We'll be
clients.
with you shortly.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez. Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Denise Morales, 2023-0C0-2580 and 2023-0C0-2584. We're here for bond reduction. What says the state
Stephen Lucy on behalf of the state of Texas, ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Your Honor, Joseph Vasquez representing Ms. Heredia. Your Honor, my client is being held on two bonds. One bond is $750 cash or corporate surety. The other is $600 cash or corporate surety. I was appointed to represent Ms. Heredia, and at the time of my appointment, she was residing at 3831 Van Buren here in El Paso, Texas. Telephone number for her was 915-309-6185. She lives with her mother, Betty Heredia. And Judge, last time I had communication with my client, she was at a rehab facility in Juarez. And basically, I guess when she completed the program, or I don't know the circumstances of her arrest, she was arrested on April 4th and has been in jail since then. I'm sorry, Judge, I have the wrong file.
Yes.
Judge,
Denise Morales.
I was appointed on this case on the 7th, and I got notice of this bond hearing yesterday. I haven't made it out to the jail, but I have been in contact with Ms. Morales, and my last communication with her was she was at a rehab program in Ciudad Juarez. I don't know when she came back to El Paso, but she was arrested on the 4th. I have looked at the recommendation in the portal. It is probation or time served. I'm asking the court to grant her a PR bond. I can get her address information for PR bonds, or they can get that information from her so that they can know where she will be living and give her instructions on how to report.
When was she in rehab?
Judge, I have notes that my office communicated with her back in September of last year.
Okay. Mr. Lucy, do you have anything?
No objections to granting a PR bond, but we'll defer to the court.
You are Denise Morales?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
When were you in rehab, Ms. Morales? You can put your hand down.
I got out December 24th of last year. I was there for 3 months exactly, ma'am.
So you were September?
Around September, yes, ma'am. September 24th, yeah, around there. I have the paper. I've been meaning to get it sent to Mr. Joseph Vasquez. I have the paper stating that I was there for those 3 months. I'll be sure to try and get that to him as well.
My concern, Ms. Morales, is that you failed to show up to a court hearing in May, and then you failed to show up to a court hearing in August of last year. So what assurance do I have if I let you out a third time on PR bond that you're going to show up to court?
Well, Your Honor, all I have is my word. I mean, I'm gonna be returning to the address that I have on file. It's 108 Maple Court, Sunland Park, New Mexico. I reside with my grandmother and my daughter.
All right. At this time, I find the bond is sufficient to ensure the defendants show up in court. So I'm going to deny your request, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and set this for a pretrial, and or unless you're going to let us know what it is you wish to do.
I will let the court know what we're going to do, Your Honor. I'll discuss the recommendation with Ms. Morales today.
Okay. Thank you very much. Downtown, if that's all you have, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great one.
You too.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Alex, if I may have Jonathan Reese Esparza, please. Mr. Ballesteros, are you here for Mr. Livingston?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be covering. Sorry about that.
Thank you. All right, court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Jonathan Reese Esparza, cause numbers 2024-0C0-1958, 2023-0C0-5623, and 2022-0C0-3878. What says the state
Stephen Lucy, on behalf of the state of Texas, are ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Robert Nicholas Ballesteros, on behalf of Mr. Jonathan Esparza Ruiz, also ready, Your Honor.
Sergio Coronado, on behalf of Mr. Jonathan Reese Esparza, we're ready.
Okay, we're here for pretrial on these three cases. I understand you represent him on one case. Is that correct, Mr. Coronado?
Yes.
All right. Does the state have a recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a global recommendation involving these cases. For the 2022 driving while intoxicated case, we're offering a 120 days plea of true. And with those 120 days, they're gonna run concurrently with the newer DWI, as well as the discharge firearm in certain municipalities with the motion to destroy. And if the defendant accepts that plea, we will dismiss the felony.
Okay. Mr. Ballesteros, do you have anything?
For me, Your Honor, but I'll be sure to communicate with Mr. Ruiz the implications of that plea agreement, that plea of true offer. I will also inform the court that Mr. Esparza, or Mr. Ruiz Esparza, has his arraignment in the 409th on May 29th. I imagine that is going to be relayed as well. Again, I think maybe these can be worked out just based on the notes read from Mr. Livingston.
All right. Mr. Coronado?
Yeah, Judge, I think now we have a workable solution. I think this rec was put on this morning. I think the council just need to communicate with our client, and then I don't know if you can put him in a breakout room for me.
We will do that right now. Let me just get, oh, Rihanna's not here. Okay. Let me see if I can do that.
Judge, if you want to make me a co-host, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, let me see if I can take care of that right now.
Was once accidentally made co-host and kicked everybody. That was not a fun Zoom. But it's what I did.
All right, Mr. Ballesteros, I'm going to put you in there as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I think I did it. Annex apparently hasn't gone over there. Annex, if you'll accept the invitation to room 2. There it goes.
Judge, Ms. Tavitas also got on for Mr. Livingston because.
Yes,
Okay.
I noticed that. Thank you, Ms. Davitas. Okay, I guess they're done.
Judge, we are done.
Okay. So what do y'all want to do?
We have an agreement, Judge, if you'll set it for plea, and if the, if the prosecutor will send us the, plea papers to both parties, we will, to both counsel, then we will, make sure we take care of getting, them to.
That's squared away. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Lucy. If you will forward the plea papers to both Mr. Mr. Livingston and Mr. Coronado, so we can get this on the docket for a plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Annex, I believe we're done, so you may be excused as well as everybody else. Have a
Thank
good
you,
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Stephen. You'll take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Yes.
See some of you back at 1:30.